Hello, Jay.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Welcome to this week's rendition.
Yeah.
Attention Deficit Disorder. I am Jay. This is my partner, Damien.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, we're enjoying some cooler weather in Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, take advantage of every chance you get to wear a sweatshirt here.
I would imagine anyone that sees this saw the Shelly Sharp, so that was pretty cool.
Very entertaining.
Yeah, I went out there Friday and Sunday. It was great. It was really, really great. They were that Sunday match. They were exchanging blows, especially on the back nine. And
lots of back and forth.
But then I was really torn because Drew Gibson was having like this round.
Yes.
And I posted something on our Instagram page that he was 10 down through 12. Mm-hmm. And he had just made a 30-footer on 12, which was getting a 2 on 12. That's the one that's 420 uphill, plays about 500 uphill.
Over the water, right?
Over the water.
Yeah.
Full carry. And he birdied it. And I was right there when he did it. And you could see it in his eyes. He was really pumped when he made that. He kind of felt like, ooh.
Felt the fire, huh?
Yeah, this could be. And then he got that long walk to cool off, which is almost unfortunate. And that's what happened. He actually did cool off.
Wow.
So,
was there a backup on the next hole too?
There was a 2-group backup.
God, that does it
on
too.
13.
Yep. You always see it, and I never enjoy being behind extra cards at a tournament where you feel like you're finally found your groove and your momentum.
Yeah, especially when you get momentum like that. And he's looking at 1,100 rated round. He's looking at course record. He's looking at
that's right.
Second place, maybe even a run at first. I mean, it was crazy what he was doing. And then all of a sudden, you're parked at a hole for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That's tough.
Yep.
So, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. And it was Parker that beat out
spoiler alert,
Anthony. Well, I think everyone's seen it by now. Here we are. This won't come out until a week later, right?
Good point.
So yeah, it was great. It was really, really great. And we got Maricopa this weekend, and I see a lot of the same names on that.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
We have really hit our tournament season here.
Yeah, for Arizona. And then we have the Memorial at the end of February, which is great. But everyone's at Barrett-Jackson today, and tomorrow. I'm going tomorrow. So
I was there yesterday.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
It's a blast.
It is such a good time. If you're in Arizona, that is a must.
It's $45 to get in, but my God, it's a visual. It's almost too much visually stimulating.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. And it's everything, too. It's not just cars, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everything you want for your man caves too. That's the part where I spent the most time.
Really?
Oh yeah, I just love the.
That's surprising. I skipped through all that stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No, there's great
right
one-offs of people that create things and offer them there at that market.
They've got a lot of vendors.
Trade show, yeah. I
was thinking about setting up a disc station, just one of the smallest booths that you can get, and just set up like 10 racks.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't do very well, but it would be really fun to expose the sport a little bit.
Yeah, just bring a TV and
the TV would be brilliant.
Yeah, and they just sit there and explain to people what it is and see where it goes. You never know. You got land? Just be asking everyone because there's a lot of high rollers there, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You got land?
Get yourself 9 baskets. Let me tell you.
You got land. So that's the only thing I was going to discuss on the contract front was the. Was Gannon Burr doing 3 years?
Yeah.
Which is interesting because then Nicholas came behind him and said he's got 4 years. So I think I want to know why. I guess why he thought 3 was good instead of 4 or 5 or 6. He's Gannon Burr. And I think his value is up there. So is he gambling on himself? And in 3 years he wants to be a free agent? I get it. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
It does make sense because you would think if a company would have stepped up to take a gamble on a young player like him, who's really not that big of a gamble, he's going to keep producing.
Yeah.
Like what he's produced already.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's smart on Gannon's part. You would like to know what was going on in his head.
Yeah.
During the negotiations.
I do.
Because you said they came up with 2 different numbers, right? And then the third one he actually said yes to.
Well, no, the way I heard it was, I think the number, he got the number he wanted, but it was lower than some of the other offers.
Okay.
But then they came back with 2 add-ons.
Got it.
I don't know if it was to numbers. It was just, he just phrased it as he got 2 more things that they put in there at the last minute that sort of tipped it.
Got it.
So I don't know what that is.
Okay.
None of us will know what that is, but it's interesting to me 3 years when you're 18 years old. If So, wow, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
We will see. But now we have someone on their books beyond the 2026 year.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
now
right,
it's
because
into-
2026 was actually
no.
the line, the interesting line that we could connect the dots and see.
Yeah, it seemed as though something, again, venture capital, private equity, that type of,
Yeah.
they build things up, they get their values up, and they sell.
Mm-hmm.
So when there was nothing on the books past 2026, it seemed like, okay, well, that's the year then.
Yep. Good cash out.
That's the year. But now there's someone on the books for 2027. Now that doesn't really carry over or matter too much if it's one person. But typically those are tells in situations like that.
You can read between the lines,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for sure. Well,
we just had our first guest come to the door.
Yeah, there's some interviews that are going to happen today.
That's right.
We're pretty excited about that. So why don't we get to it, and we'll catch everyone next week on
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Everything else.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the interviews.
Well, welcome to the show, Mr. Jacob Courtis.
How we doing?
Doing good, man. Did I pronounce that correctly? How do you actually pronounce your last name?
Curtis.
It is Courtis. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
kind of like spelt like Courtis.
Yeah, because reading it,
Yeah,
I had spelled it wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Most people spell it like Curtis,
Mhm.
but no, we had an O in ours.
For sure. Is that a French accent?
I don't know. A lot of people say I have accents, but I don't know. I'm just a Cali boy. I mean,
Yeah, and I actually wanted to bring that up too about La Mirada. That was right down the street. Was that your home course?
I'm kind of like dead smack in the middle of all of them. So like La Mirada, Huntington Beach.
I've heard a lot of good things about Huntington
Eldo.
Beach. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's where Paul was from. I'm from, I guess, like I claim kind of all the courses. I don't really have like a specific one, so.
Gotcha. Okay, so you didn't have like a favorite out of them. You just kind of spread yourself
I'm like
out.
15 minutes away from all of them, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of just like a local to all of them, and I don't,
Right.
I claim all of them. They're all good courses. They're all good clubs,
Oh yeah, now and they've got one of the biggest communities of disc golfers in the world.
Oh yeah, 100%.
For sure.
I think
Texas is the only one that can compete.
Probably, yeah. I mean, our weeklies alone at Huntington, we do flex starts, so obviously there's going to be more people, but I think it gets up to like 170 people or something like
In the
that.
flex in a week. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and like a little park course. I mean, we don't have courses like out here in Arizona, where, they're longer and kind of more tucked out the way. They're park courses. They're smaller.
Okay.
So 170 people throughout the day, that's a lot of traffic.
Oh yeah.
So you're
course is pretty well packed.
You're trying to find your way throughout those, but
for sure.
Courses move pretty smoothly up there, and a lot of good people up there for sure.
Well, with the bigger community, I assume that becomes like a more intricate of like etiquette. A lot more people understand how to behave on the disc golf course and kind of work with each other in making it smooth, right?
I mean, yeah, you would think so, but I mean, not everybody has the etiquette or knows kind of how to manage a course when there's a bunch of people there. There's some people that are throwing shots and they'll walk through your fairway because you're crossing a lot of fairways in between.
Oh,
they're like side by side.
Sure,
we are
right.
in a smaller park.
Good point.
Some of them have to go this way and then you have to come back. So
okay.
Some people will just throw it in your fairway and then just like lollygag the whole time. So, I mean.
Well, disc golfers are kind of lollygaggers. We do like to enjoy our time on the course.
No, yeah, 100%.
At the end of the day.
There's definitely some people that are more oblivious for sure.
Yeah, and I guess that comes with growing pains of the sport too.
Yeah, I mean, most of them are just new players in general. I mean, there are some people, that they feel entitled, they could, or
sure,
or they're just like, higher hole or whatever, they feel like they have the right of way to kind of do as they please.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, etiquette's something that we've certainly talked about on this show, just because we want people to kind of start doing a little more research and understand how disc golf works, so we can work together ultimately
100%.
to better the sport and get along with each other.
100%.
So you already brought up Macbeth once. That's who you got your nickname from. Cupcake.
That is.
Can you elaborate and just tell us the story on how that came to be?
I mean, there's nothing really much to it. Back in 2014, I was playing the AM Worlds. It was in Minnesota, and if I remember correctly, I mean, I was young. I was 10 years old. So if I remember correctly, we were, just chatting and like before the players meeting. And I think this was before, they kind of had like the donut shops and the cookie shops that like had all the crazy stuff.
Okay.
Like now, like where you put like Fruit Loops or whatever on,
M&Ms,
like,
right?
Yeah, like that type of like crazy stuff. And I think he was talking about some like new cupcake shop that just opened up, and I like basically like looked up confused, like what? And it like happened to get a photo like perfectly like when I looked confused like that, like looking up, and he posted on Instagram and he put catting for this kid today hashtag who mentioned cupcakes. That's it. And then
And it's stuck ever
I
since
think a
then.
couple days later, I had an Instagram at the time, just like posting like disc golf stuff, and I think a couple days later, I changed my username to Cupcake. I think it was Cupcake Courtis at the time. Now
Yeah.
it's just Cupcake Disc. But
So you really leaned into it.
yeah, I mean, I looked at it as like a branding opportunity.
Yeah.
Because for my age, I threw really far.
Yeah.
I was throwing 420. I think that Worlds I threw 423 feet at 10 years old. So I mean, if I was at a normal course, say La Mirada or Huntington, and people would see me throw and they're just like they're intrigued.
Yeah.
Like, how is this kid doing that?
I'm sure their jaws dropped.
Yeah, 100%. So if I'm like, if they come up to me and they're like, "Hey, what's your name?" Like, I want to look out for you or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Oh, it's Jacob Courtis." Most people aren't necessarily going to remember that, rather than if I was like, "Oh, it's Cupcake." It's more. It can stick to your brain more, easier.
And you recognize that at a very young age.
Yeah, I've always been kind of into money and kind of the whole business aspect of everything. And
That's brilliant.
having good foundation from my parents. My dad's really big into money, and kind of understanding how the world works at a young age was a big thing for me. Business is something I like to do.
Nice.
I have my own website. I manage my own stock of discs that I sell and ship out all personally by myself, to help me out and help my touring efforts.
Yep.
And just try to keep some money coming in, but also pushing my brand and keeping my name out there. That's the biggest thing is you want people to know who you are, but you want the sales to go along with it, especially in this game when contract base is like full off of like how well you sell this, how well you are marketable, and everything like that. So I mean,
well, I'm glad you said that. It is a total grind.
Oh,
up
100%.
Until very recently, the top players are getting big contracts.
Yep.
So now it's a total hustle from the past and now on too.
Yeah.
And I did want to ask you a little bit about. Well, I think I should dive first into the fact that you're throwing 420 feet at the age of 10. Because I had to look at the age of 14, you were shooting between 960 and 1014 rated rounds. What division were you playing in then at the age of 14?
I don't even know.
Were you MA1? You didn't move up to pro?
2014, I was probably playing like M2 or something.
Okay.
I didn't have the best mental game. So yeah, probably M2. I didn't really play much of M1. Yeah, I think 100% probably M2.
Well, I think a lot of players with their mental game, they stick to the AM2 because you have the potential to shoot MA1, but you got the MA3 mentality, right?
Yeah. No, I was good when I was younger. I just didn't have the mental game, and that's a big part of disc golf. If you don't have the mental game, you will struggle out there because if you have one bad hole or one bad break, that can ruin your whole round.
You got to shake it off.
And like they say, that's what separates MA1 and pro.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously consistency, but
yeah,
that comes with having a good mental game and
muscle memory,
and putting the actual practice in.
Yeah, and I see you practicing a lot.
I try to.
I've seen you out here quite a lot. This is actually the first conversation we've actually had, even though I've seen you a ton of times. So we've never been in proximity.
Yeah, I mean, I could have been in California, but with Parker Welk moving out here, and all my friends kind of being out here, there's just not much for me in California anymore. There is, all the people out there, it's fun to play with your friends, but if you want to get good, you kind of have to play on better courses. And those courses right now we have small parks, it's like you're throwing the same disc on every hole.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get you're not gonna get like a whole lot better unless you're like in a field, grinding every shot over and over. But like out here, you got every single one of those. You got good courses.
Mhm.
You got Fountain, Vista. Those are basically the main ones we play.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, those are notoriously the
there's
best.
multiple type of shots there.
For sure. A little more
So-
diversity, right?
Yeah, and there's good long fields out here in
Mhm.
California. I mean, we have buildings everywhere. There's not much land that's not used.
For sure.
So I mean, if we do have fields, it's like one soccer field, and I'd throw a mid-range or putter there. So
Mhm.
it's like there's not much room for me.
Yeah, so how do you visualize carving a nice turnover line through the woods
Yeah,
when you don't have woods to throw through?
yeah, 100%. I'm not, to be honest, like I'm not big of like a field work type of guy.
I'm the same way. Yeah, I get that.
I can't do it. My brain just doesn't let me. I only go out to the field if I need to learn discs. Like see how they fly. Like if I get a new box in, or I just get brand new discs. Like, and obviously you don't want to drive a course and throw 30 shots on every hole.
Yeah.
So you just sit in a field and you have wide open. You kind of throw them flat and just see what they do,
Mhm.
rather than going to play. So I mean, that's kind of the only thing I do. For me, it's like hard to visualize shots in a wide open field or try to pinpoint. Hey,
For
let's
sure.
hit this spot way out here and try to land it there.
Yeah.
Because like it's not the same. You're not throwing around trees. You're not having to do anything besides
Well,
play
footing,
the wind.
landing zones, everything. There's nothing the same.
Yeah, 100%.
So fieldwork can ruin your game.
Yeah,
I agree
I mean,
with
I
that.
don't think it can ruin your game, but I think I don't think you're getting a whole lot better. I think it's more like I think you can for some people that can have that mindset of like and visualize it. I'm not really much of a visual player. I see the course how it is.
Mhm.
So like a lot of people, pinpoint a spot that they want to hit. I'm not that type of player.
Okay.
I just kind of see the gap or kind of the visual area that I need to hit and just throw it that way.
So you're looking at airspace rather than like reference points.
Yeah, 100%.
I like that.
I just know how my discs fly, and I feel like if I can hit it in that 10, 5 feet marker,
Mhm.
I'll be more consistent that way than, if you sit there and have 10 shots and you pinpoint a spot on like a tree or something or a pole that you want to aim at,
Yeah.
you're most likely not going to hit it,
Oh yeah.
2 out of the 10 times. Or you probably will hit it like 2 out of 10 times, but that's
Sure.
that's not like a lot. Like if you want like to get consistent, I think you should, pick kind of like a bigger margin of error,
Mhm.
because that can ruin you if you're just like, hey, like I want to hit that spot every time, and if you don't, you kind of get upset at yourself, like why can't I do that?
Why might not hit my
type of
mark?
thing. Yeah, versus like if you give your kind of self like a 5-10 foot window,
Mhm.
it's a little easier. Kind of like Tiger Woods says in golf, he wants to hit different squares.
Okay.
So it's like kind of like that type of thing.
Good.
So you kind of have that square of where you want to hit it, flat, high, right,
Yeah.
left.
You know your angles, you know your airspace,
100%.
hit the gap.
Yep.
Very good. So I have to ask about Goat Hill, the putt at Goat Hill, because I think we all were watching. I know I was watching.
Yeah,
And Philo, who's notoriously takes a long time to throw every shot,
he does.
gave you a hard time. So I just wanted to know what was going on that day in particular. I know it was a windy day.
I mean, it wasn't just that day specifically. I mean, I've kind of struggled with it all throughout this year, and it is hard.
Mhm.
Disc golf is a big mental game, and
Yes.
when something like that happens where you're struggling, you can't find your way, to putt, in your relative time that you are used to.
Mhm.
I was normally like a really quick player, 15-second player. So, I mean, going to like, struggling on the green like that where you're just trying to get it out of your hand, because I know I'm taking long at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like it frustrates me more than it frustrates all you guys watching, 100%.
Yeah.
And I definitely beat myself up about it, but it's very difficult to work on because it doesn't happen in practice and it only comes in tournaments.
Well, and I got to say, because even though it took you a while to throw, you were still throwing good shots.
Only on putts, yeah. It didn't take me long to throw drives or
Yeah, right.
fairways or upshots.
Right.
Just mainly putts. And
When I think it's more frustrating as a viewer is if you take a while and then you mess up the shot, where for you played pretty well.
I think I made everything.
Yeah, you did.
That's what a lot of people say, like, playing with, some of my friends and stuff, like, throughout some of the year. I mean, they're like, I want to be mad at you, but it's like it's hard to. You're making everything like you're putting on a show. They're like, I'm like, and I'm a competitor at the end of the day. At the end of the
Absolutely.
day, we're playing the same sport. Like if you want to call me on it, like Aaron did at in Las Vegas, I don't take that to heart. No,
Of course not. You can't take
No.
it personal.
no, we're playing the same game. We should play by the same rules. But to me, doesn't matter to me. The putter's not coming out of my end.
Right.
I mean, I'm still kind of struggling with it, but I think I've gone to the. I mean, I've tried to change my form, everything, and I struggle with it. It's definitely hard to get out of like a slump where it's a big difference when you go from 15 to however long I'm taking.
Yeah, right.
So it's like it's a big battle, and I don't know how to like explain it, but it's like I feel like to me it's like I kind of like lose track of time. Like it feels like it goes by really quick,
Mm-hmm.
but um, it's also a weird thing of the stroke is really good, the mechanics is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like it goes in majority of the time. Like,
Yeah.
but I have no confidence in it. So it's like sometimes like I'll go to bring down the putter and like either my fingers will shift in like on the bottom side of the putter,
Yeah.
or like I'll bring it down and something triggers in my mind that like I'm just gonna yank it. So it's like it's a weird thing that like I've never been through. I've been playing the game for 11 years, and I hope no one ever goes through this. It sucks.
Well, it sounds like you've had to almost reset your focus a couple of times just in your one putting motion, right?
Yeah, I think at that point, like when you're standing over a putt so long, for me at least, I was getting pissed off. Like I was getting kind of mad at myself. So I mean, you could see me just like it wasn't like a clean stroke. It's just like the mechanics there, but I would just get frustrated and just chuck it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm gonna sit here forever
Trying to
like,
find it. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like I don't know how to deal with it, but it's getting close.
Good.
I think
Good.
right now is the best it's ever been, and it is close. I changed my whole putting style multiple times, but this one, I'm keeping the same stroke, but I don't move it a whole bunch, so it's just holding it right here. So hopefully that fixes it.
Good.
I haven't played any tournaments this year, but from just in practice, money rounds that we've played,
Mm-hmm.
it feels a lot better and a lot more consistent.
Beautiful.
So I'm hoping that, I can go through a couple tournaments where it's not slow and I can build on that and get it back down to like 15, 20 seconds.
Right
I'll
on.
be real happy with that.
Well, after hearing you explain that and hearing where you're going, we don't have to talk about it today if you don't want to, but after hearing both of those things, I'm really excited for your season this season.
I appreciate it.
That's awesome,
dude.
dude.
I think it's going to be a big year for me.
Good.
First year full touring.
Yeah.
And go on a full tour this year. And, we're going to do this thing.
Attaboy.
I'm ready to, hopefully this putt can get figured out, here pretty soon if it's not figured out already.
Well, you're working on it. Yep.
Yeah, so I can gain that confidence back, because that's a big thing is, when you aren't putting good,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure all you guys know, like when you aren't
That's right.
putting good, you feel like you have to put it 2 feet away from the basket, a foot away from the basket. And
Because
that
it's scary coming
that
back.
makes just like throwing a drive to the basket.
Mhm.
Like you feel like you have to put it so close because like you feel like you're either going to take long or you're just not a good putter.
Right.
You're scared to like put it kind of farther away. So it puts so much added pressure on your shots
For sure.
that, and then when there isn't, when you aren't by the basket, you're like, oh, damn.
A little extra stressed out.
Yeah, you're a little stressed out, and then, that can lead into the whole round.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I was just a smooth player, chuck it wherever I want, and then I'll be good.
Yeah, I've seen you chuck it.
And chuck it, put me 50, 60 feet away, this is probably going in.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like I have to be 2 feet away to feel like I can putt it quick and no one's mad, or,
Sure.
or like I can, stay sane a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, you'll figure it out, man. I believe in you.
I appreciate it.
So we should segue into something a little different now. Or maybe we should ride the fact that you're going on tour, but you don't have a tour card.
Yep. Disc golf's at a weird time right now.
It is a really weird time right now. It's $6,000 for a tour card. And that doesn't include any of your entry fees it's just an added cost of even getting into these tournaments.
Yeah.
So are you going to be able to carve out a real living doing A and B tiers plus whatever tour events you can get into?
They still have silver cards, so they
Okay.
don't have silver events, but they classify basically like a lower grade card as a silver card. So it gets you into 6 events. Um, but I feel like I'll have no problem getting into the other ones.
Okay.
So I've signed up for my 6 events, and then
Oh, nice.
but luckily my rating's high enough, and so I get tier 1 registration. So
That was actually my next point, was you got a high enough rating that you should have a priority over most other players.
yeah, so I should have no problem getting into the
Right
rest of
on.
the tournament. Jake Brown last year,
Mm-hmm.
obviously the rating tiers weren't as high, but last year he got into every event like he tried to sign up for,
Nice.
just because he had like that tier 1.
Yep.
So it shouldn't be a problem.
Good.
But right now, if you kind of are on the silver card, I think a way to get into the tournaments too is I think they have exemptions.
Okay.
So if you like play good and you're placing very well,
Mm-hmm.
I think they will give you like exemptions to like either go into next tournaments where you don't have to like deal with all the stress of signing up or
Right.
whatever. They kind of hold a couple spots either for I think they hold them for the exemptions, and then they have sponsorship like exemptions, I think. So like some players that say couldn't get in the tournament, but their sponsor like wants them to play a tournament, I think they could get them in too.
Yeah, that's
So,
good.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if I don't, then a bunch of A tiers, B tiers, stuff like that. But I think I'll have no problem.
Yeah, I like your chances.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
So now let's talk about this peppermint, because I just learned very recently that you actually helped develop the peppermint to all the exact dimensions of what you wanted in a disc. So what exactly is the Clash peppermint?
The Clash peppermint is a kind of like it's an overstable punt approach.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you can fit in like the hybrid of like between like mid range and putters.
Like a 4-speed almost?
Yeah, I think it's a 4.
Is it like a zone, like a 4-3-0-3 type thing?
I think it's 4-4-0-4.
Okay.
So
Zone-ish.
overstable.
Yep.
Yeah. I was a big Toro thrower.
Okay.
But for me and some people that have higher arm speeds, they aren't super overstable for us. So if we wanted to punch them out, they'd fly very straight and then have like a
Reliable
gentle fade.
Okay.
But I wanted something I can throw as hard as I can, or in any wind, and it not flip over.
You had
or
a cool.
not stay straight.
Yeah.
So, what we developed is I told him I basically want a more overstable or more torque resistant, more overstable like Zoner Toro. Basically.
Gotcha.
But not as overstable as like a Zone OS.
For sure.
We came out with 3 versions of it when they first we started developing it, and the V1 was kind of like a Zone, like identical to a Zone, and then the V2 was like a Zone OS that actually flies.
Yeah, okay. A more usable Zone OS.
Yeah, where the Zone OS is kind of like a boat.
Yeah, it's a brick.
It's super like thick on the side. It's super deep.
Yep.
It just doesn't feel good to most people. We kind of had that sweet spot of like the Zone OS type, but it actually flew. Like you can throw it as hard as you want. Like you can flex it, and it's not just like. To me, I feel like the Zone OS is too overstable to be consistent.
Yeah.
But these ones were a really good version of the Zone OS. But basically, the third version, which is the one we ended up selecting for the peppermint, we put it dead smack in the middle.
Okay,
of
good.
Both of them.
Right.
So the peppermint is overstable. To me, I can throw them over, and they flex out, or I like them for sidearms. I can punch them flat; they'll ride straight.
Yeah.
And have a consistent dump. But unlike a lot of overstable throwing putters like Zone Toro or Zone OS, on the side of the rim, they're kind of blunt.
Yep.
They don't cut through wind very well.
Sure.
So one thing I definitely wanted to make sure on the peppermint is we carved that rim out a little bit so it could help fight and penetrate through the wind.
That's smart.
So it stays more consistent with the overstable stability, but it also cuts through the wind better. So
nice.
that was a big thing because some people, you know, they play in windy spots, and the zone Toro, when you throw it in some wind, it flies dead straight.
Yeah,
So
for
that was
sure.
one thing I didn't want with this disc,
That's smart.
and it came out perfect.
Nice, dude.
I loved that disc.
Well, you had a really cool video on your Instagram of throwing it backhand and forehand
Yep.
because you had 2 different lanes to hit. You picked the perfect hole to demonstrate what the peppermint does
Yeah.
for those shots.
Yeah.
So it was cool to watch it go back and forth and just do the same exact point and click.
Yep.
That was good.
I like it for sidearm. For me, I feel like the sidearm, it flies a little straighter.
Yeah.
But that's just because the torque that comes out of the hand.
Correct.
It's a little bit more so.
For sure.
But that was my preferred shot with it. You know, chop little sidearms at, you know, throwing approaches and stuff like that. But yeah, that's an amazing disc. If you guys haven't got one, get one. It will change your bag. I think you guys will fall in love with it. I think it's, in my opinion, it's the best overstable throw putter on the market.
Very cool. You've got me sold on
and
one.
I'm not biased because I made it, but
yeah.
Well, I didn't make it. Clash did, but
sure.
I helped, you know, design it and tailor it to what I wanted.
Well, and you are doing what I think the community really wants to see with disc development. We want to see the pros have some freedom in telling the companies, hey, this is what I want because this is very usable and a lot of people will make benefit from it.
Uh-huh.
So that's something that Conrad has seen, Simon has seen, Ricky has seen, Paul has seen.
And what I'll see this year.
That's cool. Very exciting. So we got more to look forward to.
Oh, 100%.
Attaboy.
You know, I already got some discs in the mail that I've been throwing.
Oh, wow.
That are, you know, pretty good.
That's exciting. And I hadn't seen you throw, I think, in a minute. So I haven't even gotten to see any of the protos fly yet. Shoot.
Yep. I mean, the new company I'm with, not going to say yet.
Yep.
But you guys will have to check that out. But it was a coexisting mold that they ended up tweaking for me.
Okay.
So, but it flies money. And then we got a couple more things. I got a text from the owner a couple days ago when we were at Barrett Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, what molds do you want to see? So he's like, he basically told me, he said, what I want to be for you is like tailor-made.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to tailor my stuff exactly to the player.
That's awesome.
So I think we have a brand new 13 speed coming out, boss type disc.
Oh.
And then we might have a couple more things. Maybe a new peppermint type disc.
Yeah.
I gotta take that over with me. But yeah, 13 speed. I think there's a new overstable punt approach that's going to come out for me. And who knows, maybe a couple more things. I think we're going to do, I don't know. I told him a couple things I wanted. I told him I wanted like a cookie / Tiber 3 type disc.
Okay.
You know, something reliable in that 7-speed slot. You know, you can kind of work in the woods or, you know, just, you know, a good 7-speed. I wanted like a berry / like buzz type disc.
Yep.
You know, some dead straight point and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else did I say? I think I might have put something else. Oh, and we also have this new disc that they also made for me.
Yeah.
I already have some of those too.
Okay.
It's like a Firebird.
Okay.
Good Firebird.
So you've got a whole lineup coming.
Yeah, I don't know if they're all going to be mine, but
sure.
He's definitely working with me, and that was a big thing I wanted. And we understand disc golf very well.
Yeah. Me
and the owner, since we first started talking, it was just me and the owner. I didn't have to go through anybody, so you know it's definitely a lot easier when you do that. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, we went back and forth. He's been sending me discs, telling me I've been telling him what I do, like what I like and what I don't like. And, until I find time to go out to the factory, then this is what we have to do right now. But
well, yeah, right.
Pretty soon I should be going out to the factory and, you know, picking through everything I like. But no, there's a lot of good discs, I think, with me on the team. And, you know, us working together, I think we can make something, you know, come out of this brand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I could see that as a very mutually beneficial relationship.
100%. And me and the owner, we see eye to eye on a lot of things. And
Nice. You love that.
That's very good, and that's what you want in a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it as a partnership. I don't look at it as sponsorship. So
For sure.
I want this to be mutually beneficial on both parties, and I wanna add more than what you add to me. What you give to me. So
Well, that's that business mindset you got.
yeah, I definitely want to pay it forward, especially if you're going to take the chance on me.
Yeah.
And I think as we can continue to develop good molds, kind of basically what I want and kind of what I know people want. I think we're gonna have a lot of good discs coming out.
Right on, man.
Yep.
And are you going to be able to? So you have some hand in the mold development. What about the plastics? Are there any kind of new plastics that are going to be introduced?
That I'm not sure yet.
I'm always curious about the different plastics in different molds because, of course, it makes a difference.
And, I'm sure if I asked, I'm sure, yeah.
Have some sway?
Yeah, we might be able to do something. But that hasn't really been, on top of my mind. It's kind of more just trying to get the disc to fly how I want them.
Yeah.
Something that fills my bag and something I know a lot of other people can use. Because, I'm tailoring them to kind of what I like, but having friends, pro disc golfers and amateur disc golfers, as my friends, I kind of know what people like.
Yes.
So, it's not only for me, it's for everybody else. And I think a lot of these discs that we're making is going to be beneficial for everybody. So I think it's like I said, good on both parties. They benefit from it. They get kind of my representation of hey, I back this disc, and they can make their sales on it and everything, but also I get to throw them, and everybody else gets to throw them too. So I think a lot of people would be happy with what we're going to come out with.
Good. Well, the company, it's all about the bottom dollar at the end of the day. So if they're making discs that don't sell, it's tough.
Yeah, I'd say scrap it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not selling, scrap it.
On to the next one.
Yep.
Back to the drawing board.
Better.
That's right.
That's the thing in business. If something ain't working, you kind of find out. You kind of have to find your market.
That's right.
What works and what doesn't. If something doesn't work, scratch it. Find something else. What does. You kind of got to look at the statistics and.
It's all a numbers game at the end of the day.
100%. Everything is.
That's right.
So, I'm excited.
Well, good for you, man. This has been a really cool conversation. I've exhausted, I think, everything I had written down.
Really? That's it?
Yeah, that was all. That was everything I sent you.
You want to spitball me some questions?
Well, let's see. What could we come up with without giving too much away on where you're going? Because that is honestly really, really exciting talking about the molds and what's coming up. How about your tour that you have planned? Where's the first stop?
I have Maricopa this weekend.
Okay.
And then I go back home to California for winter time. Or no, not winter time. La Mirada.
Okay.
Which hopefully I can go 3-peat at. I'm back-to-back winter right now, so hopefully I can go.
So you're defending a title here.
Defending 2 titles.
2 titles.
So I'm trying to get my 3rd.
Yeah.
Twice to make it. Twice to make it real, and a 3rd time for good measure.
Right on, dude.
And then winter time after that. Well, actually, there's an off week, which I might go to the factory if everything goes to plan.
Yeah, while you got time, for sure.
Yeah, and then I go winter time, and then back to Arizona for Memorial.
Okay.
And then Waco through DDO. That's what I'm signed up for right now.
Yeah, okay.
Until this wave comes up, and then I sign up for all the other ones. So
right on.
Yeah.
Are you going to go to Europe this year?
That's a possibility. I don't know yet. I heard it's expensive.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's I think it'll be good, and I think my sponsor might want me to get out there. So I think we can do something with that.
Well, Europe's a cool market. I don't know if you've listened to any prior episodes of ours, but Europe has a different vision of disc golf over there.
Disc
you
golf's
already knew.
Huge there. They're famous out there. They got
they're looked at as golfers.
Yeah, they got car sponsorships, gas station sponsorships. It's nuts over there.
That's what we want to see here.
They got thousands and thousands of people that watch.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited for Worlds next year, 100%.
In Finland.
If I don't go this year, I'm excited to go over next year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then obviously, I did just leave Clash, but
Yep.
we're all good people. We're all still friends over at them.
Of course.
No hard feelings towards them. I wish them all the best and their future endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe I'll go back one day, but for right now, I kind of had to choose a little different path for me.
Yeah.
And what would be beneficial for me, in this time frame. And yeah, if we go back, I'll probably see them out there and say what's up. Go get lunch or dinner or something.
Yeah, of course.
I can't speak to them all too well. 'Cause they speak Finnish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be good.
That's awesome.
I'm excited. There's a lot of things planned this year, and I think with the way I'm throwing the disc right now and the way I'm putting the disc right now, I think it's going to be a really good year.
Nice. Well, that's actually something that I thought of earlier that I didn't actually write down was your stature. You managed to throw so far. And I mean, as far as Anthony Barella, but he's known as the lanky rubber band.
Yeah.
So you've really developed this compact punch on the disc, and watching you throw is a very, very nice fluid motion. It's really exciting to watch.
A lot of people think I have an aggressive throw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that. I think I'm very smooth.
It's only aggressive because of the sound.
I think it's aggressive because of the sound and how fast the pull is. But
for sure,
other than that, if you look at the mechanics wise, slow mo, or just watching me regular, it's super smooth. And that was one thing I've always kind of wanted. It was to have a smooth pull through.
Yes.
Growing up watching Ricky, Paul, King Climo, Barry Schultz, everybody,
Yep.
They always had that smooth pull and they get into their power pocket pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah.
So do you have can you name any single pro that you really looked up to when you were learning how to play? Is there anyone that just really inspired you?
I wouldn't say just one. I'd probably say Paul Macbeth and Ricky for sure.
Yeah.
And then growing up, AB too.
Yeah.
I mean, me and AB have been friends for 10 years now. I met him in 2013 at M Worlds.
Yep.
And we've been friends ever since. I was on his bag when he won M Worlds, when he won Gentlemen's Club, when he won Memorial.
Oh, that's cool.
So, me and him have a great friendship. I was playing with him today.
Yep.
He's
only got a couple of years on you, right?
Yeah, I think he's a little older than me.
Yeah.
I think he definitely started playing before I did.
Mm-hmm.
I started playing June of 2012, and I think he was playing since he was super young.
Yeah. His whole family was disc golf culture here for sure.
I think he actually got started because people were throwing discs in his backyard.
That's right. At Emerald.
He turned it into played against sports and got a set of golf clubs or something like that. And then later on down the road, they just they somehow started playing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fun story, but yeah, me and AB, we grew up a lot together. And who do you think goes farther, me or him?
Oh, that's a tough one because I have seen Barella has hit my equipment when I was raking at the Big Arm Challenge. And when I looked down the fairway, I was like, no way can anybody reach me from that tee pad down there. And I looked down there.
What hole was it?
I don't know the exact hole because it was a Big Arm Challenge a couple of years back before I opened the store here. And I was astounded. I was easily 600 some feet away, and he had hit my equipment and kept going. It bounced off of my rake because I was raking the pond for people's discs to give them back to them.
Yeah. Good guy.
So if I had to guess, I've seen you both bomb. What is that hole? It's the last hole before you cross the street at Vista XL.
13.
So I've seen you
12,
both.
12, it's 12.
I've seen you both punch the air, and it's just fizzing when it's 300 feet above you and still going forward.
Yeah. I definitely think AB probably has the fastest arm speed.
Okay.
I think he probably has me on backhand, but it's not by much.
Okay.
If we're going full flex, I think he definitely has me. But I think if we go golf line, I think I got him.
You're both neck and neck.
Yeah, I'm not a big full distance thrower.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to be when I was younger, but that was ultimately what killed my game too. So
okay.
yeah, once I learned how to throw golf lines, kind of like Calvin does, like that type of style.
Yes.
I went up like probably like 20, 30 rating points.
That's
You
wonderful.
know, just dialing in the margin of error is, way less.
Yep.
So I think if I maybe sat in the field for, a week or two and threw big flexes all day,
Sure.
I don't know. I think it would be a good test, but yeah, I think I'd probably go among golf line.
Well, you see a lot of the pros.
But he has those cheater discs too. He has those nukes. Like if we threw the same speed disc,
Yeah.
and like if say we're like throwing destroyers, obviously he can't. But like if we're throwing destroyers, I think it would be even. I mean, we did it with nukes, but they're his discs. They weren't mine. I didn't know how they flew. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He definitely probably is the farthest thrower on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I don't think David Wiggins has them. I think AB is the farthest thrower on the
I think we need to get him out to the salt flats then and do another.
Just because of what I've seen him throw.
Yeah.
What I've seen AB do in person is actually ridiculous.
Well, you've got a lot more experience with him than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean I have a lot, but it's actually kind of crazy watching AB throw.
For sure.
Like
it's not human.
When he throws the disc, it hums.
Yes.
Out of his hand.
Right.
He's throwing them like my normal arm speed when I'm throwing like a rip is like 75 miles an hour. That's high.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, that's high. There's not a lot of people that do that.
Nuh-uh.
And that's like kind of like that's like my consistent. It's 75. So he's throwing like 82 at least.
My goodness.
At least. Like
yeah.
I played we went to go play a course today. It wasn't set up, so we just went to Maricopa Meadows.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like hole, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hole 6, like it's like on top of like the little.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, he threw like a big spike, but it was just like came out of his hands so fast, and it's like, dude, like if I had that arm speed and like his like length,
yeah, I
wonder how far I could throw. I think that's what makes it so crazy. Is like, I mean, you look at AB, you look at me, and it's we're two different body types.
That's right.
But it's like we're so close just because fast twitch muscles and stuff like that. I mean, AB, he's a freak of nature.
Yep.
I think I'm one of those as well.
Yep.
But what we've been able to do, with a disc is pretty crazy. I looked up to people like what I'm doing now when I was younger. When I saw a disc fly 500 feet, I was blown away.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I could throw it, I could throw it pretty far at the time, but it was just like, dude, like I'm throwing it far. Like I'm throwing it far, but like these people are throwing it farther. But now it's like crazy. It's like now we've kind of like switched positions where like I'm the one that's like throwing the farther type of deal, and it's crazy looking back at the years and stuff like that. I think there's a video on YouTube of me when I was like 9 or 10 years old throwing a Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like 375,
right,
380, full flex.
Yep.
And like I had pretty good form, so it's like if you guys are wondering how to get extra distance, it's definitely form. Form
smooth
is
as
the
far.
Main key. Yeah, just like golf, smooth as far, far as smooth.
Yep.
So.
Well, and I think that's part of the beauty of our sport is that everybody has to individualize their game.
Yeah.
What works
100%.
for you is not going to work for somebody else. So you really have to just work at it. There's no shortcuts here.
Yeah.
You've got to find your stroke.
Yeah, I think if you look at my form, I think I mix a little bit of Paul with like kind of like Garrett Girthy a little bit.
I could see that.
So it's like, kind of like the little pump, which I think pump is like the little pump in your form is beneficial and momentum.
Yep.
So the little pump, but like as I bring it back, I'm under my arm. Just for me, when you have your arm down, it's harder to like get the shoulders around.
For sure.
So you can reach back. So when you go under, it opens it up where you're able to rotate a little bit more.
Yeah.
Get a farther reach back, which is what Garrett Girthy does. And I think David Wiggins might do it as well.
Can you show us your grip on where you actually put the disc in your hand and how your fingers look on it?
So I basically put it right here.
On the kind of meat of right on the knuckle, really.
Yeah, kind of like knuckle.
Okay.
And then in between like the bottom part of here.
Oh, so you're on your fingers.
Yeah.
In the,
So it's
oh.
in here, here, and then I kind of pinch it up here.
Yep. Okay.
And then it like fall, and then I push it back with like my pinky, and then like fits like
Yeah.
right in the middle, and then like not super far out, but like right here.
On your thumb.
Yeah. So like just a little bit more out than like the edge of the rim,
Okay.
because that's just hard to hold on to it. So
Sure.
I like to feel like it's solid in my hand.
That's a unique grip.
Yeah. And if you guys are wondering about my nails, if you guys can see them, I don't like to cut them right before a tournament.
No, I kind of agree with that, actually.
No, because when you cut your hand like right before a tournament or
Yeah.
like right before like something that like you have to play, it hurts.
You could have a hangnail. You could have something that has a lot of pressure on it, right?
Yeah, because usually like right after I cut my nails, like and I like grip a disc,
Uh-huh.
the edges of my fingers hurt like really bad.
Yeah.
So I try to like trim them a little bit. Like I don't ever try to cut them super short, but
Yeah.
I try to trim them a little bit. Yeah, because they hurt.
Yeah.
Like the edges, and then you can feel it like when you're putting. I don't know, like when you like hold the putter and they're like pressed up, you see
Yeah.
like how it presses up in the corner. Like that part hurts. So,
Interesting.
to me, like I can't do it. I refuse to cut my nails right before a tournament. It always has to be like right after the tournament's over, or like within that week or whatever. So I got a tournament coming up. I'll probably shave them down a little bit because I need to, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely not cutting them short. That's for sure.
Yeah. Why risk it?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are like that. Some people like them really short,
Yeah.
but for me, they hurt my fingers.
Right.
And a lot of people think it's weird. I mean, hey, do you? But I'm doing it with me, so
Yeah. Yeah. It works for you, obviously.
Yeah,
so
so-
stick with the routine.
yeah, because it definitely sucks when your fingers are hurting, and when you play and you throw, like, and you're holding a disc, feel is the main thing.
Correct.
So I'm gonna stick to what I do.
Attaboy. I think you got it.
I hope so. But yeah, you got any more questions, or are we wrapping it up?
I think I'm glad we actually went on that little tangent there because that was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of rambled on a little bit about some things. I probably
You're here to talk, dude. It's good.
Probably diverted a little bit, but I think that's the correct grammar. But yeah,
The nature of the show is attention deficit disorder.
well, I definitely have ADHD or ADD,
we,
something like that. I move a whole bunch, so you guys can see like I move around.
we rarely keep on topic.
Yeah, I mean, I got it, so I understand. I always have to constantly be doing something, and I think that was ultimately kind of the reason why I started playing disc golf. Was, I mean, I was super big into sports. I think you guys talked about that on AB's interview.
That's right.
Was sports background and stuff like that. Came from an athletic family.
Mm-hmm.
We're not the tallest of people in our family. I think the tallest in my family is like my dad's dad, so like my grandpa, and he's like 6'1" maybe.
Okay.
So
he's up there.
My dad's 5'10". I'm probably like 5'8", 5'9", if I'm lucky. I don't know.
On the right day, sure.
Yeah. So I am shorter, but yeah, sports growing up like basketball and stuff like that. But I've always kind of been a natural at kind of everything.
And
If
so
I
you
played
did
it
play
a couple
everything.
times.
Soccer, basketball, baseball, football type
Yeah, school.
school sports,
The only
sure.
thing I played outside of school was basketball.
Okay.
And it got to a point once disc golf was introduced to me. Me and my dad started at the same time. My dad's a big ball golfer. So, which is how I got started in disc golf was my dad being a big ball golfer. His brothers
Mm-hmm.
also played ball golf, but somehow I don't know how they found out about disc golf, but they started playing disc golf, and my dad wanted to play ball golf with my uncles, with his brothers, and they were like, no, come out to play disc golf. And my dad thought it was just like, people throwing frisbees and like walking their dog type of thing.
Yeah.
Like he didn't know like anything about it. And then he was like, well, I want to spend time with my brother. So he went out one time and they went to Huntington Beach, I think it was. Or it might have been La Mirada. I don't know exactly where. I don't think I ever got that end of the story, but they ended up, after going down to the disc golf shop we have, Discovering the World
Yep.
in Buena Park. And my uncles like went to shop for some discs. I don't think they bought anything, but my dad stayed after, like right after they left, and was like, hey, like I want to play. like with my brothers, like give me a starter set, like 3 discs.
Mhm.
Is like give me like a disc for my son. So my first disc was a star wedge.
A wedge.
Yeah, factory second star wedge.
A lot of people don't know about that disc. That's a
Yeah.
weird disc.
It's money disc. I
Yeah.
think it's so good.
Yeah.
I actually had one a couple of years ago. It was a 150, but like when you're like far out from the pin, that you
Yeah.
don't necessarily want to throw an upshot.
Yeah.
But, like or like rip a putt super hard. Like you kind of just like
You could trust
putt
the
it
wedge.
normal.
That's
Mine
right.
was like 150.
Uh-huh.
The one I had recently, and that thing was money. You like throw like little soft little turnover
Yeah.
floaters,
Yeah.
or like
And it'll float.
little spin putts.
For sure.
That thing's sick. I like those.
That's so funny. You
And
bagged a wedge.
I think my dad got like a leopard, maybe a shark or something, or like a mako.
Some standard introductory discs, right?
Yeah,
Especially
and
with the
then-
Innova.
And then like a champion AVR or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it was, but I think it was like a shark. If I'm correct, it probably wasn't, but that's what I think it was.
What year was
Yeah.
that? Do you remember?
June of 2012.
2012. Yeah, because that's right.
Yeah.
You already said that.
Yeah.
2012 is when you really got your first introduction to the
Yep.
sport.
That's when I started, and I was hooked the first time he took me
Oh,
out,
that's
'cause
fantastic.
I played a little bit of ball golf when I was younger, but I was always too rowdy for the golf course.
Okay.
Because I was just like,
When you're
I
a
was
kid,
an
yeah.
outdoors kid. I loved doing everything outdoors, scootering, biking,
Yep.
skateboarding, whatever it was, outside, climbing trees,
Mhm.
whatever. I was jumping off the roof of my house, like everything. So, like, imagine me going to a golf course,
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, watch this. And then just
Whack.
trying to whack the golf ball, like Happy Gilmore style. And just like, I was just a little too rowdy, too loud. And then
So disc golf was perfect.
yeah, and coming from basketball, I was always pretty good at basketball, but I didn't like that you had to rely on the team.
For sure.
Because I felt like I was always like the better one on the team, and it sucks when you lose the games, not because of you. So going into disc golf, like you can play it by yourself. It's strictly up to you, like how good you get,
That's right.
or whatever. So to me, that was a big thing, and I just was hooked immediately.
Well, and having the athletic background, your footwork and your hand-eye coordination is so important to adapting to the sport.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
And I can't even remember how I even threw a disc the first time. I don't know what it did. I don't know anything, but I just remember just every day just watching film over
Yes.
and over. Paul, Ricky, at the time, like Nate Doss, Will Schuster,
Yes.
all them. A lot of people don't know about Will Schuster, but like they just know him from like now and like Prodigy, but he was probably one of the best throwers of the disc back in the day.
Yep.
And
Anyone who's been in the sport for more than 5-6 years knows the name Will Schusterich.
yeah, now
as one of the
now he
greatest.
has a couple hitches, but
Yeah.
his form used to be like what you wanted to copy. His and Paul's and Ricky's is a little unconventional.
Yes, it is.
But the footwork has always been really good with Rick.
Oh yeah.
So, and Rick was what I looked up to, like with sidearm. It was Paul's sidearm.
Smart. Yes.
Well, I guess it was not necessarily Paul's. I guess it was Avery's
Oh, okay.
and Ricky's, because Paul Macbeth copied Avery Jenkins' sidearm, but Ricky's was. I mean, I still talk to him about it to this day. Like, I think Rick had probably one of the farthest sidearms, like, in disc golf. Like, if you guys know Smuggler's Notch, Fox Run,
Uh-huh.
hole 18, I watched a video of Ricky Wysocki throw a C-line PD2 to the tree. And that's like
That's
hard,
such a brick of a
That's
disc.
hard to get like a backhand.
Yeah.
Like, and he put it like up against the tree.
That's magnificent.
Like, he ripped it.
Yeah.
Like, he used to have this massive sidearm that a lot of people don't know about. Like, I mean, he still has a pretty big sidearm now, but like he was on a different planet back then. Same with like I guess now, like this age, I mean, Anthony has one, Parker has a massive sidearm. Like,
And Parker's a smaller guy too,
yeah, he throws his whole body into it.
for
though.
sure.
I don't know how he does it, but yeah, he has a massive sidearm. years ago when Alex Geisinger was playing,
Mm-hmm.
he had a huge sidearm as well. Obviously Eagle before he got injured.
Yep.
Um,
Well, you see a lot of the players almost have to pull back, and I think that's probably why Rick doesn't have that masher forehand anymore, because it's really just not good for your elbow. You've got to use it in moderation.
yeah, I talked to Rick and he was saying, yeah, he just doesn't want to hurt himself anymore. So
You got to play smart.
He'll take the 450, 470 and call it a day.
Pretty usable.
Yeah. For most, yeah. I mean, you don't necessarily need anything more than that. If you need something more than that, you're most likely throwing a turnover.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Well, and when you look at Macbeth's forehand, when you brought up Macbeth, his almost looks lackadaisical. It's how easy he throws it.
Yeah.
But then he pumps it out and easy. It's just an easy 400 for him. It's beautiful to watch.
Paul does have a really smooth sidearm.
So
it doesn't
smooth.
look like much is happening at all.
Right.
But then you look at Ricky's, and Ricky's was on a different level at the time. And,
well, he looks like a baseball player.
Yeah, it's just that quick snap. It's good form, and it's I don't understand it. I mean, I have a pretty good sidearm, but like these guys throw it really, really well.
Yeah.
And they make it look super smooth, and which something I'm trying to tailor mine to right now is I feel like I'm throwing mine really hard to get it to go nowhere. I mean, it's not going nowhere. I mean, I'm still throwing it, 450, but I feel like, and I've done it like when I practice it, throwing slow, I still get it to that 450 mark.
Okay,
so it's like
that's good.
I'm trying to switch it up where it's like I'm throwing my whole body into it and making it super hard for myself.
Gotcha.
And, getting the same distance I would if I was like slower.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's like one thing I'm trying to work on because
well, and staying healthy is the most important part, man. You can't just punch that elbow into a 450-foot forehand on every hole. It's not good for you.
Yeah. I mean,
not everybody's built
I've
like
had a
Gossage.
little bit of elbow pain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but not from sidearm.
Backhand.
Yeah, mine's backhand.
Okay.
So it's like only when like I kind of like stick on the tee pad a little bit. So like sometimes like I'll throw and like my foot won't rotate a whole bunch. Like I'll kind of like get more on my side.
Yeah.
Like the side of my foot, and I'll like dig in a little bit, and I kind of stick. So like my body doesn't want to fully rotate, and then like I hyperextend.
A little extra
so,
on
like
the meat.
But it doesn't like hurt like that. It just like shoots like a little like pain. That's it.
Well, you're young yet.
Like 15 seconds. Like if that, like 5 seconds, and then it goes away. But that hyperextension isn't good.
So is there anything you're doing to make sure your body stays healthy? Any kind of dietary, exercise?
I mean, before it was Pepsi, man. Pepsi was my key. But obviously, that's not good for you. But yeah, hanging out with Rick a bunch, and
he's got a good mindset for that.
Yeah, he's with the Lyme disease like he has, so he kind of forced to change his habits and what he eats and all that. But it's for the better for him, obviously physically for him, but also like not even like for the Lyme disease.
Yeah.
Like it just makes him feel better in general, and it makes yourself feel better when you eat better. So as I've been here for probably about 2 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've maybe had soda 1 time, 2 times.
Okay.
I had a Pepsi on the drive up, and that's because I didn't have much sleep the night before.
On the road trip, it's okay.
Yeah, because I was just packing a bunch. And then well, no, I mean, I didn't pack a bunch. I just like kind of decided that day I wanted to come up. So I just packed, and then I had one up on like the last like 2 hours of driving. So just to like get me through.
Yeah.
And then I think I had one when I was like out eating.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to stretch the nerve a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
But yeah, just definitely trying to drink a whole bunch of water, trying to lose weight, trying to get in better shape.
Yep.
I mean, I don't have like I'm not like, big or anything, but definitely trying to get more in shape and
kind of finding a routine about it, right?
Yeah.
With eating healthy, exercise.
I definitely feel a lot more energy now.
Good.
Like I feel like I sleep better.
That's important.
Yeah, because I feel like when you put in all that, that bad stuff in your body, it kind of like clogs you up a little bit, I guess. Makes you a little stiffer, your movements, because you get bloated a lot. You don't really get bloated when you're eating chicken or steak and stuff like that.
The leaner.
Yeah.
protein
the
based.
proteins. Yeah, protein's a big thing, and
Well,
just trying to eat healthy, just trying to stay in routine of that. I'm telling Rick like, hey, what's the good healthy spots like on our
Oh, and
course,
he'll
so
know.
we can plan this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to stay on that. I think the game's shifting that way where a lot of people are trying to be healthy.
Oh yeah.
Adam's getting in the gym now. I don't know if he's like you guys have seen him like post it, but AB's been in the gym.
Yep.
Ricky goes to the gym. I'm about to start getting back in the gym because I need to again. I can feel my knees getting a little weaker because I was in the gym a whole bunch. Not this past year, but the year before, like towards the end of the year, like in it heavy, and that was probably the best I've ever felt. So
Good.
I'm definitely gonna make sure, lost a little bit of motivation throughout this year, but to go in the gym. But this year, like I'm have a better mindset. I'm ready to tackle everything and do what's best for me and further my career. That's all I want to do at the end of the day. Ever since I was 10, I've lived and breathed this game, shedded a bunch of tears over it, and
Oh yeah.
put in a lot of hard work. And I think now, it's starting to show like, it's paying off, and a lot of expectations on me, but I have higher expectations for myself. So
Good.
just trying to plug away and get better and better every day.
Yes, that's what you see the top tier athletes do.
Yeah, 100%.
They stay strict. They
Yep.
keep earning. It's a constant grind.
Yep. When I'm out on the disc golf course, I'm a perfectionist.
Attaboy.
So, if I, that's the only way.
Well, I think you got a great attitude, man.
It's like you can be the best thrower in the world, but it's like, are you perfect? And that's the thing. You can't be perfect. You can't achieve it. So it just keeps you chasing it.
But you got to keep reaching.
Yep. It keeps you chasing it.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately, the goal for me. I just want to get better every day.
I love
keep
that.
Chasing perfection. Perfection ain't a real thing, but I want to be the closest one to it.
I don't think I've heard any athlete ever say something like that. That was wonderful.
Yeah. And, I'm a competitor at the end of the day. I want to keep getting better. I want to keep being a stiff competitor for other people and
make yourself hard to beat.
Yeah, where I show up and people have to beat me as well.
Yes.
I think I can't remember who said it, who the quote was that said it, but it was like, I hate losing more than I have the passion for winning. And that's me. I don't like losing. I hate it, especially money rounds with all the friends. That sucks.
How much trash talk happens in those cash rounds?
Oh, a lot. A whole bunch.
Well, I've heard little bits of banter amongst the pros on the course, and it is just an absolute joy to sit there and spectate those guys.
Yeah, we're comedians to each other.
Yeah.
We do a lot of, trash talk, a lot of jokes. We're out there having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
We're competitors. We want to get in each other's heads, especially like that. So it's funny when, someone throws a bad shot and you're like, good shot. They get all frustrated or whatever, Or like, I think we played like last week or so. It was like me, AB, Parker, Aaron Gossage, and Rick or something like that. And I told her, like, Aaron, we're playing a cash round. And he was like talking about like just like random things that like he didn't like or whatever. And I was like, Aaron, you complain a lot. And I was like, damn, Aaron, like stop complaining.
Yeah, then he has to flip the switch like, oh my God, I was complaining a lot.
Yeah, and he's like, what was I like or whatever, like little mind games, with the friends and stuff like that. It's trash talk, all that stuff. It's all fun.
Well, and that's why golf is and that's why golf is so great. Because it is a bit of a mental game. It kind of helps you compartmentalize not just your professional life, but your personal life.
Yeah.
And it helps you think through the game too. So when you get on your friends and rattle them a little bit, you got to regain your focus.
Yeah, their main joke to me is when I go up to putt, they're like, "Oh, well, I'm starting the clock," or stuff like that. Or they go 1, 2.
Well, yeah,
3,
they have their go-tos.
Like, start going, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I grew up at a course called Twyla Reed, where that's all we did was just talk and play.
Sure.
And shit talk, or excuse my French.
It's all good fun.
Talk trash.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we just always did that, and so I mean, it's hard to get in my head. I'm very hard headed, so stuff like that, it just goes in one ear out the other.
Well, that's a great quality to have, especially if you're a golfer.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, that's why, like, kind of when all the putting stuff happened, I mean, I was laughing about it. I mean, I will say that.
Yeah, you got to own it.
Yeah, I mean, I own it 100%. It's me.
Yeah.
I'm not running from it. I mean, I'm doing it. It frustrates me more than, everybody else. That's why I'm laughing, because they're like, dude, like, this guy needs to hurry up. Or there's some pretty funny comments on that. But and actually, like, while I was playing Goat Hill, I think it was like the final round or whatever, when the second round got posted, or like when I was on it, it got uploaded during our round.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually like reading the comments as I was playing
during the
and
round,
laughing at them. Yeah, because they're funny. I mean, some people act like they know you just like off one video, or
sure, that's all it took,
before.
right?
Yeah, but it's just funny. Some people say some funny things.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think it all comes from a good place at the end of the day. It's not like they do it for hate.
Yeah, I mean, most of them are pretty good comments. I left the comment and was like, hey, like, I know what's going on. Like,
I get it.
Yeah, it's like, it's not good, and I think that a lot of people became fans off of how I reacted towards that.
Oh yeah,
and kind of owning what's going wrong. I mean, I think it takes a certain individual to own what's actually going on, and see what's actually happening for what it is.
Well, it shows you're a much bigger person, even though you're a younger person. You've handled it very well.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, and I just try to do the best I can. I mean, I'm not perfect. No, I don't believe anybody's perfect, but we all go through struggles, and
it's part of the game.
We're just just got to plug away one step at a time, and I'm excited to hopefully this chapter closes, and because I mean, in my old 11 years of playing, I never thought I'd be in this position.
Wow.
Like in that slump like that. Yeah, I mean, you just don't even think of it. You just fall into it, and this is unlike anything else where you can just practice and figure it out. This is like something just deep down mentally that you're trying to figure out and grind out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
at the end of the day, there's only one way out of it. It's to keep playing.
Yeah,
you're not going to stop, are you?
Yeah, I think it stems from like a fear of missing or something, because I would like to consider myself like a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want, I obviously want to execute every shot. I want to make every putt. I'm a competitor. So I think when I step up to a putt, like now with, obviously like previous events where, I've played good or whatever, and I've put expectations on myself, and maybe other people have put expectations on me of like, this is like, could be like the next like generation of like,
yeah,
kids
the future
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I put a lot of pressure on myself to make a putt, and I think that's what I need to work on is playing free again, and I think that's what this year will help out a bunch. And it's not like I'm just poking out to different events,
right,
or before. I would just poke out to them. You're spending a bunch of money to travel to them. Like say Ledgestone, spent probably like $1,400 to go to that.
Yeah,
to fly.
Yeah,
hotel, food, and all that other stuff. So, being on tour full time now, it's not just going to be like, okay, we have to play good this tournament to make the money back or make more. It's like, who cares if I play good this weekend? There's always next weekend. I believe
that's going to pull a lot of weight off your shoulders, I'm sure.
100%.
Which ultimately loosens you up, and I'm sure you'll see your score reflect that too.
Yeah, because I mean, one, if you're driving to each event and stuff like that, and it's on the road, one, you're not spending as much money, but yeah, it's just more free because you always know you have one, like you always have next week. Who cares if I don't play good this week? It's next week.
Everybody goes through slumps. That's right.
100%. And yeah, I think this year will be a very good year for me.
I'm excited for you, man.
Physically on the course.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stress has definitely been lifted with, say, the new sponsor, and being on tour full time is going to help me out with stress from not just having to poke out to different events and hoping I play good there. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good year. And yeah,
Let's have a breakout year, man.
let's do it.
Let's do
I'm
it.
excited. I'm hoping. I mean, I'm praying for it.
And you're working
So-
for it.
Oh, 100%. Definitely put in the work, and I believe if you put in the work, you can achieve something.
That's right. Persistence is key.
100%. And, manifestation.
Correct.
Yeah.
You can't just manifest. You have to work too.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You've got everything in between.
Yeah, what do they say? Hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work.
That's right.
Yep.
Wonderful.
So I think, I've worked very hard on my talent, and, obviously, the only thing is up.
Attaboy. Right on, dude.
Yep.
Well, I think we'll have to put a bow on that, man. That was wonderful.
Yep. I mean, I rambled on. I for sure did.
You're all right, dude.
Yeah.
That's just fine. Thanks for coming by, man.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.